We're getting resets, and I'm actually pretty excited for this because it allows me to do different routes, and I'm pretty excited to actually showcase what I want to do. I'm just going to be sharing my opinion on what I think you should be doing as a general player. My line is going to be completely different, but I'm going to show you my whale line and then also the free-to-play line because things have changed. So what's actually changed is I cannot currently clear these dungeons. Simply put it, I have unlocked Inferno, and in order to progress through this game, normally you have to go and get the next level shells, which give you access to these 6 pieces. And then I have to go over here, and then eventually I just have to farm a not so consistent, but definitely possible Inferno Terramaton run to try to get better DPS gear in order to go back and build up my Remolka, who will be strong enough to hopefully clear Doki Doki, and vice versa. It's a clear line, but the issue to do that is, well, it's not very consistent, right? First, I have to go through and clear this, but I simply can't because when you look at it, all these teams, this is on the clear time right now, but even if we go to the reset clear, there's not really any teams that are not dot right now. The only teams that are not dot, if it's even still on here, was actually no, I don't actually think there's any that are not dot, which is a huge problem. But anyway, you're probably wondering, so what does that mean for you as a free-to-play or someone who's going to be entering this point soon? How can you avoid the mistakes that I made so you don't end up being 5 levels in and still not even able to touch these and have nothing really to show for it besides a single piece of a Fury Edge, which is like your only saving grace? Well, the answer is actually very simple, and that is to abuse these resets, and specifically to start pivoting. Shadow Sonya is really, really good with Lily. Like, these are going to be your best friends, and you're going to want to abuse them together in order to clear a lot of the shell content, because they're able to clear the 2 most important shells, in my opinion, which is Nico Nana right now, because this will give you access to your upgraded Gigabytes, this will give you upgraded to your upgraded Artisans, your upgraded White Fangs, which are good for some characters. Heck, even Alicorn is great for PvP. And then Shadowflame Hoyan, specifically with another character which we'll talk about. Maybe you see her, maybe you don't. We'll get to that, not in this video though, but this gives you a lot of really powerful PvP shells and a really good utility flexible shell in Shackle. So this is really good, and this is how you're going to get strong enough to progress into the other dungeons as well, specifically because Doki Doki is very manageable. Now, I haven't bothered to clear it just yet. Simply put it, I need a little bit more stats, so I do need to get an upgraded shell so you can progress into these other stages like the Inferno Terramaton and the Inferno Doki Doki. The way that you're going to have to do that is by improving your shells, which again, these are going to be your gatekeepers in actually getting there, and unfortunately, unless you build something to answer these, you are just not going to be able to progress. So how do we answer that? Well, it's very simple, and that's by building a very specific character that is in all of these team comps for consistent clears and is a good replacement to Shadow Sonya if you don't have her, as well as Lily, and that's Fangus. I actually have a plan where this Dating is not going to exist in a couple of days, and instead it's going to be a Shadow Sonya, a Messiah, and a Lily, and that's going to be what's in my name. Yes, I'm transitioning to Dot, and that's just because this guy's insane. All you need is to max out his S1 and his S2, and preferably get his S3 to level 3 if possible, just because it does help with the extra chance on the dot and speed down. And the idea here is that every time that you attack with any sort of damage dealing skill, Fangus has a nice passive where he will actually follow up, and this is really good. It pairs really well with Lily and pretty much any multi-attackers, because every single time that you do attack, just like Battle Will, you get another chance to proc, and that's really good on him. On top of that, his S1, because you're proccing this, and this is why you need to max it out, with enough accuracy, you have about a 70% chance to land a dot, which is really nice, and that's really powerful because he also has this S3, and I'm sure you face this plenty of times in the anti-sync echo, but he does a big AoE, inflicting and if you max this out to 100% chance, a speed down, which is really, really good, as well as a dot, and this will also be really easy to stack because it's 2 turns. So you pretty much have 2 options. The one is you build him and you pair him on top of having Shadow Sonya and Lily to really get a lot of value out of him very, very quickly. And that's the easy way to do it. The second way to do it is what happens if you don't have access to these premium characters? Well, you're going to have to start building characters that are going to be able to tank it out. So this is going to be where you're going to start building characters like, for example, you can bring Marvel into Nico Nana, not so much Shadowflame Hoyan, but he's good because he can control as well. You can also bring Linglo, who's going to be your sustainer, and you can bring Valerian. And then from there, you pretty much just want to bring anything to keep him alive and someone who's going to also be able to attack a lot, which is really fast. This is why Lily is so good as well with him. Even if you just have Lily, you can pair him and use him as the replacement to Shadow Sonya. And the idea is very simple, and that is that you are just going to use Fangus to carry you and kill this. And this is going to be the only way that you can really do it. Now, luckily, he's very easy to gear because you don't care about anything on him besides speed and accuracy. So you just need that, and then everything else is extra. If you have enough effect accuracy, you can see how low this gear requirement is. You are just going to be able to stomp through it, and even if you have enough, because probably you can only use 2 red pieces for effect accuracy, and then just the substats should be enough to get you to where you need to be on Fangus. From there, you can just run like HP and defense percent just to keep him alive, or whatever your best speed gear is, just so you can fully abuse him. You'll definitely want to 5-star him. Maybe you think about 6-starring him because he is very good in PvP, but I think the great thing about dots is that they're low investment, and that's really powerful in this game because you don't have to 6-star them. You can 6-star other characters, which kind of require that for harder content, though there are some people that are investing heavily into dot. If you do have Shadow Sonya, you will want to max out her S1 eventually, just because it's going to make it so the duration on the dot is 2 turns, which is great, and it also gives her speed. So these are all benefits for her. On top of that, you can just go into Fangus and you will want to get them to 553 at least. But there's another character that I think that most people should be building right now, or preparing to start building, and that is Viper. Viper is scaling incredibly well. You probably saw him in a very quick look over on those kind of recent clears, and that is because Viper is just a really, really good character. First, they're a stripper, which is going to be very important for Aurora. Right now, there's only one clear in Aurora, which is like a super long clear, but it does use Viper. Viper is just really good in these clears because it's a scaling type character, and they're very easy to build. They just need to be extremely bulky, have a bit of speed, and also have some effect accuracy, and you're going to be good to go. So that's kind of the strength about Viper. And they're also extremely good because you can pair them and go into your Grim Pursuit. And this can be that attacker who pairs up as your secondary attacker for Nico Nana and Shadow Flame Hoyan, while also providing an attack down, making you much more, easier survivability. And they're also a great bruiser DPS. So this is something that you should definitely take a look into. And they're also very simple. You really just want to max out the S2, and also you're going to want to get up the S1. Pretty much the S2 is the only thing that's really important, but the S1 is okay as well, and then eventually the S3. This is not really important here, just the level 2 is important. Fully max out this S2, and then also finish off the S1, and then come back and you can finish off your S3. But this is probably the biggest problem with this route, and that is the fact that you probably noticed, wow, that's a lot of evolution lattices that you require. Yes, unfortunately, that is going to be the big bottleneck for you as a player, how much of those you can get access to. So if you're not already getting them, you need to make sure to prioritize getting these P lattices. Well, sorry, not P lattices, these E lattices, the evolutions, and you're going to be able to get these through your Union Guild. So make sure to buy these and pick these up every single time. You're also going to get them from the summon shop when this resets in, 2 hours for me as the time I'm recording this video. And there's also going to be more in, any sort of pack. So if you're interested in buying packs and you're a light spender, this is a really good cost-efficient pack that you can buy that also saves you stamina because you're getting all these extra stuff as well. What I recommend for you, if you are starting to enter into Hell and you can farm it really well, you should try to get some good gear because you're going to need it, and you're going to need it really quickly because you're going to need to start transitioning to building your characters like the Fangus, like the Viper, and if you happen to be lucky, then you can build those characters like the Shadow Sonya and Lily together, which is really good. So that's it. That's my recommendation. Hopefully this helps you guys with getting to the next step in the game, because if you don't start committing to the dot and the Viper route, you are going to brick. See y'all next time. Bye.